Hey everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I am once again continuing my favorite nail polishes series, and for today, we're doing my favorite magnetic nail polishes. So I just want to say this, like, just because something's not featured in this video doesn't mean I don't love it. I feel like I keep seeing that a lot in the comment section. So just be aware, I'm just trying to condense things down. So for my favorite magnetic nail polishes, I went through my collection of 7,000 something bottles of nail polish and selected the 12 nail polishes that I thought were my absolute top pick favorites. For this particular video, it is going to be a mixture of nail polishes that I personally purchased, as well as some polishes that I received in PR from the brands or for sponsored posts. And obviously, nobody asked me besides you all to make this particular video. It's not sponsored or affiliated with any of these brands. I think that's it for disclosure, so let's just get right into this video. Also, just a heads up, for all the polishes in this particular video, I'm going to be showing it magnetized 3 different ways because I like to magnetize things in 3 different ways depending on the polish. So I have your standard cat eye effect, I have a velvet effect that I use a horseshoe style magnet, and then I have like the zigzag effect that I don't know what it's actually called. And that particular effect you get by putting a bar magnet on top of a horseshoe magnet, and it kind of gives this style effect. I also recently got a 3D printed one from Handmade Creations to make my life easier, so I don't have to do that as much anymore. For the first polish up, I have a Bee's Knees lacquer polish, which I'm pretty sure this is the first Bee's Knees that's making it into a favorites video. For this particular polish, it's called Vampires Only, and it was originally released in the What We Do in the Shadows Part 1 collection. I think Bee's Knees did like 3 or 4 of these collections in total. This is from the first one. Also, the dogs are here. They make noise. Sorry. For this particular polish, how this one ended up on the favorites list in this time period when this polish released, I'm fairly confident that this was either the first or the second collection that Bee's Knees sent me to swatch. This was in the time period when brands really started playing around with the pigment and making really fun things. I knew when I was selecting favorites for this, I knew I wanted to include at least one black to red multichrome. I chose the Bee's Knees lacquer polish in particular, largely due to the fact that I have fond memories of swatching this collection. I was super new to swatching Bee's Knees lacquer polishes, and if you're new to that brand, they're a smaller indie brand. And for this particular collection, it's inspired by the show What We Do in the Shadows. And this was actually the first collection from Bee's Knees lacquer that got me to watch something. If you are new to the brand, Bee's Knees Lacquer in the past has done a lot of really fun collections based off of TV shows, movies, books, and whatnot. And after swatching for this brand, I think I'm going on like 4 or 5 years of swatching for Bee's Knees Lacquer. I must say Sarah has really good taste in both TV shows and books. And so I remember when I was swatching this particular collection out, I started watching the show and I really liked the show. Also, I just realized I haven't said a single thing about what this polish looks like. It is a black to red multi-chrome base with a silver magnetic pigment. If you're new to the favorites videos, I don't get too strongly into formulas because they're my favorites. Obviously, I think the formulas are all really good, but particularly for Vampires Only, for this particular shade, it's actually a 1 coater. If you don't want to wear this one magnetized, it looks fantastic in just 1 coat. It has a very kind of like, not chromey black to multi-chrome look unmagnetized, but like it just has like this kind of silvery cast to it that gives it like a metallic-y look to it. This particular polish, because it came out several years ago, it was limited edition, so it's going to be fairly difficult to track down now, but I have for sure seen multiple brands also release similar things to this. Are those other brands limited edition? Also, yes. If you have a silver magnetic topper, you can definitely put over your black to red multi-chrome and it's going to be the similar effect. So yeah, this one was on here for the vibes and just because I have very fond memories of it. Spoiler alert for this particular video, there's going to be a lot of things that are on here for the memories as opposed to me actively like being head over heels in love with the polish. Lies! The lie! Because like, I'm an emotional girl. What do you want from me? These next couple of polishes are actually all from the same brand. They're all from Clionadh Cosmetics. I always forget to mention that I have affiliate codes for things. If you want to pick up any of the Clionadh Cosmetics polishes, you can use my affiliate code, which is Nicole Loves Nails, to save, I believe it's 7% off of the website. So this first one up, I don't know how to say this. Conocybe. Let me look up how to say that actually. Conocybe? That can't be right. Conocybe? Oh, this is word?
Is that a weed?
No, this is a crayon.
I'm calling the police! one, what Germans?
Conocybe. Conocybe. Got it. This next one up is called Conocybe. I did purchase this particular polish, but I am also a brand affiliate with Clionadh Cosmetics. So for Conocybe, this is probably one of my favorite iterations of the Clionadh Cosmetics magnetic formula for this particular polish. It has either a black or a very dark gray base. The magnetic pigment in here is a very light green, like kind of like a limey kind of green, to a slightly darker green to a blue color shift. There are like yellow to pink flakies in here. This is kind of what I love about indie brands, doing just like a lot of stuff in a polish. I really enjoy when there's just like a whole lot of things happening in a polish. And like for this particular one, it's just so very much, and that's why I love it. I actually bought the entire collection that this one was in. All the polishes in it were fantastic. I love the too muchery of this particular polish. I feel like for this particular one, the release that it was in, there were a ton of like super color shifty and like big flaky polishes, and truthfully I loved them all. I had a hard time deciding which one from the collection I was going to go with. I opted for this one because I have worn it a whopping 2 times since I purchased it, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. It's just super color shifty. I love how large the flakies are. Like I had initially thought, because of how big the flakies are in here, and again, they're not like the biggest flakies I've ever seen. They're just like on the slightly like medium to larger side. I did wonder if the magnetic pigment in here was going to really struggle with magnetizing because of how big the flakies were, and it did not. It did not disappoint. It magnetized beautifully. For this particular shade, I like it magnetized both cat eye and velvet. I don't think you can magnetize this one wrong. The next polish up is another Clionadh Cosmetics, and I feel like this one is definitely a fan favorite from people who purchase on the brand. So this next one is called
Psilocybin.
There, the robot said it. Y'all can't tell me I said it wrong. For this particular polish, this is going to be one of those magnetic nail polishes where unmagnetized, it looks ugly and boring. But once you magnetize it, then you're really gonna see how to sorry, my chair is really just making noises. I swear I'm not farting. So I think the base on this is like a grayish color. I really don't know what color the base is because you can barely even see it past like the shimmer and the magnetic. So the shimmer in here has a green to blue to purple color shift, and that's what you're gonna be seeing as like the base on your nail. And then for the magnetic pigment, there is a pink to coral to orange to gold to yellow to green magnetic pigment. If you want the most color shifty goodness for your buck, this is definitely going to be like a must-have magnetic nail polish. I feel like as nail polish purchasers, we all do this, and so I'm not trying to fault the Swatch team or anything. I'm just saying this is going to be one of those polishes where you see the color shiftiness of it in like photos, videos, and all of that, and your mind just does not want to believe that that's really what this one looks like. So when I had initially saw this one being promoted from the brand, I was just like, ain't no way that looks the way this does. Ain't no damn way. And once I saw customers starting to receive their bottles and people being like, yeah, it really looks that way, that's actually when I picked this one up. And again, that is not me saying anything about the Swatch team for this brand because they have a fantastic Swatch team. This is just me being just like, ain't no way. And I say that as someone who has been swatching for 6 years now. Even I see a photo sometimes, I'm like, ain't no way it looks that good. But yeah, this one is absolutely amazing. It looks fantastic. Any kind of magnetization you want. It is just color shifty goodness in a bottle. Okay, this one is still available. The next polish up is called Synesthesia. The base in here is I believe the base on this is a black base. If it's not black, it's a really dark gray. And this is another one of those polishes that has like a really strong color shifty shimmer in here on top of the magnetic pigment. So for the color shifty shimmer, it is, I'm reading my notes to make sure I get these colors right. The shimmer that it has in here is a really strong gold to green color shift. And then for the magnetic pigment, there's like a magenta pinky kind of to gold magnetic pigment in here. And the combination of the base shimmer as well as the magnetic pigment, it gives like the look on the nail as if you're having like gold, green, pink, all of that color shift, even though it's like 2 distinct shifts. It's just really color shifty, and it's a whole lot of gold. It's a whole lot of gold.
I love gold!
And I will fully admit, like, the gold is what gets me to really love this one. And I've got a whole bunch of different ways that I magnetize this one. My swatches are gonna be showing it in 2 coats magnetized. I feel like it's only been the past few years where I feel like brands have been combining magnetic pigment with like other types of shimmers. And I really don't know why it took them so long to combine having a shimmer in the background and then having a magnetic pigment color shift on top of that. But I feel like that only got kickstarted the past couple of years, whereas magnetics have been around for a while. And I feel like for magnetic pigments, the past couple of years, there's been a lot of just new pigments dropping. Like now we have all of these like smoother, fine particle magnetic pigments that are floating around. Moving on from Clionadh Cosmetics, the next brand that is up is Cirque Colors. I knew I had to include Cirque Colors Starry-Eyed in this video. If you don't know about Starry-Eyed, Starry-Eyed is a topper, so it has a silver magnetic pigment in here that also is holographic. And then on top of the magnetic pigment being holographic, it also has additional holographic elements to it. I think they're like either glitters or maybe a flake. I'm fairly confident it's a flaky, I think. No, it's a glitter. It's a glitter. Ignore. It's a holographic magnetic pigment and then holographic glitter in here. Starry-Eyed has actually become one of my favorite toppers from Cirque Colors, which I feel like out of all of my favorite toppers from Cirque, the majority of them are glitters, then you have AU, and then you have Starry-Eyed. This is the only magnetic topper from the brand that like is up there for me. Because this is a topper, you can really wear this one over whatever color you want. I'm pretty sure for the live swatch I have it shown over black. So Cirque did send me this one in PR. I've used it enough. There's like a slight fill line on here. For whatever reason, the holographic magnetic pigment, it doesn't seem to be the most stable. My bottle of this one is from 2024 as of yesterday when I re-swatched it. I would say that it looks the same as it did when I got my bottle in, I think they sent this to me in either late 2024 or very early 2025, one or the other. I have not noticed the holographic in here degrading at all. To be perfectly honest, I really don't know what it is about holographic magnetic that causes it to kind of, I'll call it degrade. Like I have one from KB Shimmer that they were going to release, and by the time that Swatches got our bottles, the holographic in there, it just kind of degraded. It was really hard to see the rainbows, and so they ended up discontinuing that one before it even got released. I have a couple of other holographic magnetics from other brands, from like Bee's Knees Lacquer comes to mind, and also a couple from Cirque, and those have not yet degraded for me. Again, I don't know why some do and some don't. I don't get it. All I know, I am very thankful that this is still looking really, really good. If I had like a heftier fill line on this particular one and I wore it more often, I probably would be tempted slightly to get a backup of it. But if you still are fairly leery on getting like a true magnetic holographic pigment polish, Holo Taco does have one that is fairly similar to this one, but in my personal opinion, it's a silver magnetic pigment with an additional holographic element. Like I don't think it's just holographic magnetic in there, but I'm so not concerned that I would buy this if I like had a heftier fill line on it. It's still available on the Cirque Colors website. That was my long way of saying is I think this one should be okay in the long term, but I also don't know because I'm not a chemist, obviously. The next polish up is another Cirque Colors polish, and they did send me this one in PR. I just posted my review of this like 2 months ago. It is Head Over Heels. It is like a pink base with a pink magnetic pigment, so it's pink on pink. Like truthfully, the only thing this is missing in my mind is like holographic, and it would be absolutely perfect, or reflective glitter, but fantastic formula. I love this polish to pieces. I've already worn it twice. I think this just came out in January, and I've worn it multiple times already. I really enjoy this one quite a bit. This is not a limited edition polish from the brand, so it is still around. It should be around for quite a while. Cirque hasn't been doing as many limited edition releases the past few months, which I greatly appreciate. So I went back and forth if I was going to pick Head Over Heels or whatever the pink Holo Taco one was, because for so long I feel like I haven't had like a really good pink on pink magnetic polish, and Cirque Colors and Holo Taco released two back to back. I'll put a thing on the screen now if you want to see like a comparison of the two polishes. They're not dupes of each other, but they are fairly similar. I opted for the Cirque Colors one because this one was the first one that I swatched, therefore like I'm going to count it as like I was more excited for this one because I just got it. The next polish up is Cracked Polish. This one is called Jewel of the Ball. This was originally released in PPU January 2025, and this was actually the first polish from the brand that I tried. If you watch my past kind of like yapping about polish videos that aren't like swatch and reviews, you would know that Cracked was on my list of brands that I didn't want to buy from for just like a little bit, just because I am a salty bitch.
That's right, I said it!
Long story short, when Cracked first came out, they had these really cool caps on the bottles that looked kind of like crackle nail polish, and I got really excited. So like, oh snap, a brand dedicated to crackles, yes! And then they weren't.
Disappointed!
They were like pearlescent creams and like shimmers. And then they came out the thing saying that they were not in fact gonna release any crackle nail polishes. And I felt tricked, bamboozled. So that held out until January 2025 when they joined PPU, and I saw the magicness. Majestic, no, not majestic. Amazing. Jewel of the Ball is gonna be another one of these magnetic polishes that, in my personal opinion, you're basically getting a rainbow on your nails in this particular one. So the base on this is either a very dark gray or it's black. It's one or the other, I don't know which. The base shimmer in here has a red, orange, yellow, green color shift. And then the magnetic pigment has a teal, blue, purple to pink color shift. So you're basically getting an entire rainbow on your nails between the shimmer and the magnetic pigment. This is one of those nail polishes that once I saw Swatches posting the photos.
Damn, what is that, bro?
I knew this was definitely coming home with me. This one actually sold out really fast if memory serves correct. Like, I'm pretty sure the brand owner Monique was able to add a couple of extra bottles, but like I think the initial cap was like 1,000 bottles and it sold out on day one of PPU. If memory serves correctly, I'm pretty sure that this is gonna be coming back for PPU Rewind. I don't really talk about PPU on my channel anymore, so if you don't know what I'm talking about for PPU, PPU stands for Polish Pickup. It is an indie collaboration featuring just like a couple of dozen indie brands. Well, it's more than a couple. Like, there's a lot, okay? There's a lot of indie brands that participate in PPU. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It is a 4-day event that happens on the first Friday of every month. And for 4 days, a whole bunch of indie brands get together following one theme, and everyone just releases limited edition nail polishes, and like a couple of extra non-nail polish items are sold during PPU. Everything in PPU is limited edition. Once the website closes Monday night, it is done and the polishes are gone. But basically, it's like super limited edition, kind of FOMO heavy, but at the same time, there are some really great polishes in there. If you are an OG Nicole Loves Nails viewer, you probably would remember when I used to do PPU videos all the time. I stopped doing them a few years ago. As a concept, I enjoy PPU. I have been a customer of PPU since like 2017 or 2018, I think. And I like PPU as a concept, but it's very high in FOMO because you only have 4 days to shop, and also things definitely sell out on like day one. For Jewel of the Ball, this is just absolutely amazing. I believe I talked about this. I did a January wrap-up video last year. I'm pretty sure I talked about this pretty heavily in that video. This was definitely one of my favorite polishes that I purchased in 2025. This is what sent me down a rabbit hole of purchasing a bunch of cracked polishes, magnetic polishes. This next polish is from a brand that I don't really buy too much from, to be perfectly honest. So this next brand is called EDK. I know that stands for something. I don't remember what it stands for. On the screen now what it stands for. This is another one of those polishes that when I initially saw swatches of it, I did not believe it was gonna look as good in person as it did in the photos. So this particular bottle, I picked this one up during Polish Pickup Rewind in July 2021. This is an ultra multi-chrome polish. This is another polish that's similar to the cracked polish. It had a really high cap and sold out multiple times for PPU. I'm pretty sure each time they've brought this one back that like it's done numbers, and for good reason. So I'm pretty sure the base on here is another black base, and then you also have green to blue flakies in here. For the magnetic pigment, are you ready for this? It has a purple, pink, orange, gold, and green color shift. It is super, super color shifty, and I feel like if this came out right now, I feel like I would be less impressed by it, but back in 2021, I feel like we didn't have as many like super color shifty magnetics on the market. So this particular one, I didn't believe Swatches when I saw it. I wouldn't go so far as to say that I thought the Swatches were lying. I just have a personal problem where I don't believe people when they tell me things. I don't. It's the same reason how I just read a book about very questionable relations with ghosts. Because I didn't believe the review when they told me that's what happened, and imagine my surprise when that's what happened. It's a personal problem. I told myself I was gonna work on it last year.
I lied.
But I feel like it might just be a personality trait at this point, and I think I just have to like live with this about me, that I just don't believe things. So yeah, so I actually have a video on the channel where I was actually using this polish to demo a ring magnet out. I'll link the video here, but I'm pretty sure that was in my first year of doing YouTube, and it's rough, truthfully, but like you can watch it if you want. But this is just an amazingly color shifty nail polish. I will say though, when I went to swatch this one out, it's very odoriferous. I don't know if it's the flakies in here that make it so stinky. It also was a lot stronger in odor than I remembered it being. But yeah, it's a beautiful polish. I thoroughly enjoy it. I don't think this particular shade is gonna be pretty hard to track down though. Like I said, like a lot of bottles of it were made. Like I'm pretty sure they brought this one back for rewind like at least 2 times, I think. So I would imagine it wouldn't be too difficult to track down in a D-stash. It's a PPU shade, so it could potentially be a bit more expensive. This next polish up is from Heather's Hues, and it's called Southern Lights. This was originally released in PPU May of 2022. FYI, Heather's Hues is actually my favorite indie brand of all time. They are unfortunately no longer around. If you were on my channel in my first couple of years of YouTube, this brand was featured very heavily because again, they're my favorite indie brand. I'm pretty sure this has like either a gray or a blue base. Actually, I could probably look this up. I have a blog post of it. So I just pulled up the official description for this one. It doesn't look like Heather ever gave it an official base color. I think the base on here is gray or maybe like a grayish blue, but Heather described this one as a multi-chrome magnetic that shifts between a red, pink, copper, gold, and green. And then it has red, orange, gold, green iridescent flakes, as well as silver reflective glitter. So this one came out in that fun time period after like the first batch of reflective glitter polishes. So while this one does have quite a bit of reflective glitter in here, it doesn't have that kind of wet sand-like application that earlier ones have. Like, sure, it's definitely on the thicker side, but not like the crazy amount that we had to deal with initially. This one came on the list largely because I love it. I've worn this one a couple of times. It is just color shifty goodness, and I have a soft spot for Heather's Hues, truthfully. Even though the brand is no longer around, I actively still am always seeking out Heather's Hues polishes because I want to one day have every single one Heather ever released. So yeah, if you're ever D-stash at Heather's Hues, hit me up. I feel like if you look past the flakies and reflective glitter in this particular polish, I feel like the color and color shiftiness of this is kind of reminiscent to the first round of like multi-chrome magnetics that we saw all those years ago, except you don't need to have like a base to put this on top of. I feel like as you're watching this video, you can definitely see I lean very strongly towards like color shifty goodness. That is I just like magnetics to be color shifty. I feel like if I'm magnetizing something, I want it to really just have some oomph. So this next polish up is also from Heather's Hues. This one is called Revenge. It was originally released in Polish Pickup September 2018. So this particular polish made it onto the list not because I actively love it. Sorry, the dog came back again. This one made this one onto the list for the memories. When this particular polish came out, I did not like magnetic nail polish. I had owned a couple of magnetics in the past, and I always just had a really hard time magnetizing my polishes. I realized through swatching that all of my issues with magnetizing nail polish came down to the fact that I am impatient and I cannot wait. I don't like to wait, especially for my nail polish. And honestly, magnetics, I feel like a lot of the ways people recommend wearing magnetic nail polish is way too much effort for me personally. For all magnetizing, how I personally do it, I build the polish up to reach full opacity. I'll stop at 3, I'm not doing more than 3 coats, but I build the polish up until it looks opaque to me, and then I add another coat. If it reached opacity on the 3rd coat, I do not add a 4th coat. That's too many coats. We're stopping at 3 no matter what. I add that final coat, and then I magnetize just that final coat. Depending on my mood, I might also magnetize when I add top coat. It really depends on the day. I can't say that I do it every time, but mostly I do commit to doing it now. And so I magnetize my final layer for 30 seconds minimum. If I'm doing the velvet effect, I can definitely sit there for 60 seconds because I'm not like actively holding the magnet over my nail. But if I'm doing the cat eye effect, the best I can commit to is 30 seconds. I can't do more than that. I just cannot. I don't like to do that. I applaud those of you who can magnetize every single coat. I don't know how Linry magnetizes her coats and like sits there for 3 minutes. I don't know how. That's not the life I want to live. So anywho, for this particular polish, I told myself that even though I didn't want to magnetize this particular shade, unmagnetized, I liked it enough to justify getting it. When I got this particular one, I did wear it both magnetized and unmagnetized. Admittedly, I didn't like it magnetized. When I was swatching this one out for the video, I actually realized that all of my issues wearing this one magnetized back in 2018 was once again because I was not patient enough to magnetize it.
Oops, my bad.
So yeah, for this particular polish, since I didn't say that yet, it is a gray base. It's like a dark gray base, and then it has kind of like a pinky purple with, I think, gold at very extreme angles magnetic pigment in here. And then there's also these little itty bitty flakies that are in a similar color to the magnetic pigment. The flakies in here are super duper small. I'm pretty sure, oh, there is. There's also a very delicate hollow dusting. Heather was really a fan of putting a really delicate hollow dusting in the background of polishes just to give like these little moments of twinkles. So yeah, this particular shade made it onto the list because I just remember it was in PPU. I knew I did not like magnetic nail polishes, and I was just like, maybe this will be it for me. So yeah, this one's just here for the memories. I feel like I should pull it out and wear it magnetized because I was really surprised at how nice it looked magnetized, to be perfectly honest. So the final polish up in this video is going to be Mooncat's Death Star. This came out in the Star Wars collection. I did receive this polish in PR, by the way. I myself am not, in fact, a Star Wars fan. It's just not a franchise that's for me personally. However, this particular collection was phenomenal. I knew I wanted to include something from this collection. I originally was going back and forth between Death Star and Imperial Stormtrooper, largely because the thermal magnetic polish in that particular collection, that was my first thermal magnetic polish that I can recall ever having. And I was going to include it for this, but then when I saw this one in my drawer, I was like, nah, we doing hollow. So yeah, for Death Star, this one is like a chromey silver. There is linear holographic in here, and then there's also a silver magnetic pigment. It is like super chromey, and as someone who's not a chromey kind of gal, I somehow still absolutely love this particular polish. As you can see on my hand here, I am very much usually like a gold accent nail kind of gal, but this particular polish looks phenomenal as an accent nail as well. This is just a super fun polish. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure all of these Star Wars polishes from this collection are in fact sold out now. It was a limited edition collection, so unfortunately this is all gone. But I feel like this is probably super doable. Like, I can't imagine that this is like a unique combination. So that is everything from my 12 favorite magnetic nail polishes. Like I said at the start of this video, this was really difficult for me to get through. I have a lot of magnetic polishes. I will say shout out to my channel members. We actually went over my magnetic swatch rings in one of our members only live streams while I was trying to decide which polishes were going to be my favorites. If you would like to sign up for my channel memberships, there is a link for that in the description box. You should be able to click join next to the subscribe button as well. But as always, signing up for my channel memberships are completely optional. Just like the video, comment, share, subscribe, all the things, and seriously, we are good. However, if you want access to the members only live streams, that is only for the shenanigan tier or higher. If you like magnetic nail polishes, I would love to know what are your favorite magnetic polishes. Also, what is your favorite way to magnetize polishes? Also, if you're enjoying these favorites videos, let me know in the comment section what favorites I should do next, and say anything besides pink. I have been delaying on getting right into the rainbow because I got overwhelmed by how many pinks that I owned. So let me know what you think I should do next for favorites. Just thank you all for joining me for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a lovely week, folks, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Also, Stormy, you gonna say bye to everybody? So I feel like it's been a minute since you guys have seen Stormy. So this is my cat Stormy. You can't see her head anymore, but Rue is here also, and y'all heard Sassy in the background. Oh, what's this in my eye? What's this in my eye? Okay, what was that in my eye? Okay, it's gone, I guess. If there is, okay, no, it's not gone. Okay. What is in my eye? Hi, Woo Woo. Do you want to sit with me? Do you want to sit with me, Woo Woo? Stormy girl. Stormy girl. And then a Woo Woo. Come here. Oof. Okay, we got a full house. Ooh, excuse you. Why did I pick these names? I can't pronounce anything. Psilocybin? Psilocybin. When I get high,
I ain't looking at the clock, still ballin' like Brian. Yeah, I'm headed to the Bucks, then I'm ballin' like